Hey everyone. One of the goals of studying economics is to be able to identify misuses of economic ideas. And there's a lot of them out there. And one of the biggest is unemployment. So, unemployment seems like it's pretty easy to calculate, right? Unemployment, the unemployment percentage, unemployment rate, the one we hear about on the news, is just the number of unemployed workers divided by the number of workers that are employed plus unemployed, right? That's like how we come up with a normal percentage. Nothing really crazy about that, except, well, who's unemployed? My son's 4.5 years old. He doesn't have a job. Is he unemployed? No, we wouldn't count him. So here's the entire population. Over here, this is students or children and children. I'm guessing most of you all don't have a job, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're unemployed. Well, on the other end, my mom is almost 70 years old. She's retired. She has no interest in working. She shouldn't be considered as unemployed. I have a good friend that I talked to over the weekend, and he spent time in the military when he was overseas. He didn't have a job in the US. He was not employed, but we wouldn't call him unemployed. So, military. There's a few more subcategories. Another one would be anyone who has a disability that they can't work. Then there's also, I'm going to put it down here, people who aren't looking. So that says not looking. Someone not looking for a job. Maybe they're playing video games in their parents' basement, or maybe they're staying at home. Maybe they're even a younger person that's retired, or they're sort of between jobs, or taking a gap year, or whatnot. So here's our group of what we think of as employed. Workers. But it's not as simple as this is unemployed. There's some different categories of unemployment. Imagine that you don't have a job. Imagine that you've been looking for a while, 6 months or so, and imagine you just get tired of doing it. That's called a discouraged worker. That discouraged worker is someone who wants a job but is not looking. And this box that's left are people who are actively looking for a job and don't have a job. That's the number of unemployed workers. That's the number of employed workers. Combine those and you have what's called the labor force. I may not have fully articulated it up here, but when we talk about the labor force, we limit the age. Actually, studies are mostly from 24 to 59, but 18 to 59. And just for some personal details, most research is done between age 24 and 59 because under 24, you have the whole student concern to look at because are they working? Are they a student also? Are they a student and going back to school because they can't find a job? What are they doing? So actually, my dissertation looked at the labor force participation of young workers. So that's a labor force. So this is unemployment rate divided by the labor force. And the labor force participation rate is then the labor force, so that's E plus U, divided by the population. And again, the population, 18 to 59. A lot of little pieces going in there, but the idea is that it's a little bit harder than just unemployed people divided by employed plus unemployed. Again, the discouraged workers, we're going to find a lot of A lot of that issue of people who want a job but they're not actively looking, but also people who are not looking. Maybe they just feel like the government failed them or the economy failed them, and they'll never have a job. There's a lot of reasons for people to be in different categories.